Hi there, in this screencast I'm going to show you how to make the event handler for the timer and a few things about the time that is going to be displayed when the user starts the game. So let me go down, and basically the timer down here, look at the buttons for the begin button. When the user clicks begin, they want the time label to appear. Now you probably don't want it visible until the user actually clicks begin. So on your form, if you set the visible property of the timer to be false, when the program starts up, it won't be visible, and then you're going to make it visible as soon as the user clicks the begin button. So let's look at the event handler for the begin button. So the first thing I'm going to do is say label timer dot visible equals true. Alright, now I want to revisit the variables that we're using to keep track of the time. And basically, I'm going to, instead of just having one variable, I'm going to change things. I've rethought about it since I made the last screencast, and instead of one double variable, let me make two int variables. So one of them I'm going to call seconds, and the other one I'm going to call tenths of seconds. So now down in the begin button, I'm going to zero out both of those, and I'm going to say, okay, seconds equals 0, because that's what it is when the user clicks the begin, and tenths of seconds, I'm going to also set that to 0. And then I'm going to turn on the timer. So I'm going to say timer time dot enabled equals true. Alright, so that gets the timer going, but it doesn't act, and it's going to be fired 10 times a second because we set the interval property of it to 100. But what that doesn't do is show the time. You actually have to add the code to show the time, and then also to update our value for time. So now let's go and make the event handler for the tick event handler for time. So the way it's going to work is that every time the timer fires, we need to increase the tenths of a second by 1. So I'm going to say I'm going to say tenths of seconds plus equals 1. And now I never want the tenths of a seconds to go up past 9. So if I need to add a if statement that's going to say if tenths of seconds equals 9, okay, then what? Okay, well then I want to set tenths of a second back to being 0 equals, and actually, let's see. Actually, before, let's increment tenths of a seconds at the bottom. This is going to make a subtle difference, which maybe you can figure out why I might want to do that before the if statement. But let's just put it down there and say, have it be one of the last things that happens. So I'm going to say if tenths of seconds equals 9. Okay, so we've just hit 9. Then we're going to say tenths of seconds equals 0. And in that case, what do I need to do? I need to increase seconds by 1. So I'm going to say seconds plus equals 1. Alright, so now I have it going so that the timer is going to go, the tenths of a seconds is going to go through from 0 to 9. After it hits 9, the next time the timer fires, it goes back to 0. And the actual seconds goes up by 1. Now I need to actually display the seconds. So I'm going to say label timer.text. Okay, so now I want to concatenate, I want a string value to appear there in the label. And I have an int value that's the tenths of a seconds, I have an int value for seconds. So I need to concatenate those together with a dot in between. So I'm going to say seconds, and then plus, and then a dot, and then plus, and then tenths of seconds. All right, so that makes a string value out of my seconds in tenths of a seconds, and it displays it in the timer. So let's see if this works. So I'm going to say, I'm going to run my, yep, sure enough, it does. Okay, so I clicked on the begin button, the label appears where I display the time, and immediately I start seeing the time, and it's going up by tenths of a second. All right, that's it for this screencast. In the next one, maybe we'll actually start generating our math problems.